All right, it's just a box. Why am I so extra? Okay, all theatrics aside, I know you want me to get to the unboxing, show you what's inside, and if you want to go and do that, go ahead and fast forward. Timestamps are below, but I'm asking if you just hear me out for just a second. Now, about a couple of months ago, I reached out to Lightforce wanting to see if they'd be willing to sponsor a video with one of their off-road lights, and to my surprise, they sent me their flagship model, the HTX2s, and man, those were the best lights that I have ever owned. They were my grail lights. They were the lights that I've been coveting for a really, really long time. And about a couple of days after that video was released, I get a call from Lightforce and they said, "We really like your video. Do you want to outfit the rest of your rig with Lightforce products?" Piece of advice: if a company that you really, really like calls you offering to sponsor you with their products, you say yes. Lightforce is not paying me for these videos. They just send me products for me to try out and I can say whatever the hell I want. In fact, they've encouraged it. They said, look, if you're gonna do a review, please be honest. Tell us the good, the bad, and yeah, I will do that, except that, let's not forget, I reached out to them, so I'd be hard-pressed to find anything that I don't like about the company after I've done all the research prior to even hitting them up. Now, I did have one gripe. During our conversation, I said to them, how come you guys don't have ambers? Ambers are like the rage in the United States right now. KC Highlights, Baja Designs, all these companies making great amber lights, and let's be honest, amber looks really, really good. And their answer made so much sense. They said they don't want to dabble in amber lights until they are confident that the color science for that is perfected. See, with their white lights, it is years of engineering to dial in the exact white that is right for off-roading. The problem nowadays is that everybody is racing to have the brightest and whitest light. Like whoever can make the brightest and the most purest white lights, like that's what everybody's coveting, but it actually is not practical. See, in Australia, overlanding is not a hobby. Off-roading there is an everyday thing. Like to get from some place to another place, a lot of times you have to go through roads that are not paved and have no streetlights. That's not just for off-roading fun. That's if you just want to go visit a family member or something. So imagine driving in the middle of the night in some dark dirt road with no streetlights and you have the whitest and brightest lights. Well, after a while, your eyes will get fatigued. Our eyes are used to natural white light. It's the white light that we see every time we step outside during the day. And what Lightforce decided to do with their lights was try to mimic that natural white light as best as possible. So what they have are really, really bright lights, but not so bright that it tires you. And their lighting is white, but it's not so white that it's unnatural. And that is why they have yet to dabble in the amber lights until they know they can get that color science perfected. And I'm gonna leave it at that. All right, let's unbox this business. Holy f***. All right, wiring harness. Another wiring harness. Another wiring harness. I think it's safe to say they really want me to convert my rig to Lightforce. Obviously, we are not gonna do this all in one install. This is part one of a 3-part series on the different lights they're sending me. So let me just break down what it is that they sent. All right, so first up is their flexible LED strip light. Now, this is just like an accessory lighting. You can throw it in the back of your rig or something and hang it on an awning, put it in your tent, whatever. It's just kind of good to have that flexible LED strip light around camp. They actually stopped making this already, and I had asked if they had any more because I was wanting one when they were on sale. And they said, well, we'll take a look, and if we have some, then I'll send you one. And I'm glad they sent that. Next up is their ROK9s. Now, these are basically their ROK lights. They're just little utility lights that you can pretty much put anywhere. I'm gonna use them as ROK lights. They sent me like 10 of them, so I'm basically gonna scatter these all around the rig. Just good for like utility or scene lighting or whatnot. They also sent me a couple of the mounts that the ROK9s go onto, and that's what these are. Now, these four up here, these are the ROK20s. They're pretty small. These are gonna go on the roof rack of my vehicle. This will give me scene lightings on the roof pointing out to the sides. But today we are focusing on the ROK40s. These are basically gonna be my new ditch lights. Right now I have the Bajas, the really small cubed ones. Those are gonna get replaced by these ROK40s. Here are the lights. No, they're not blue. There's just a film that you peel off, kind of like when you peel off the film of a cell phone. Nice, solid construction, metal. It also says Lightforce, and I like how they put the logo, but part of it kind of like they die casted it to kind of go into the light a little bit. Like that's just that little detail that looks really, really good. And then at the end is a Deutsch connector, so that'll be easy to plug in because I got Deutsch connectors set up on the Bajas now, so I should just be able to unplug the old ones and plug these ones right on in. These look really, really nice. But here's the thing. After they sent this to me, I get a phone call again and they said, Asia, change your plans. You can have another package coming. This is the package right here. They don't even have a box for it yet. These are not even available yet, but they will be by the time the last of these videos get released. And the reason why they're special, guys, they've got ambers. They did it. They started off with the ROK40s in ambers. And I know that if these do well, they're gonna do it with a lot of their lights. God, look how nice. And it's not just like a yellow plate that's put over their old lights. Like this is like pure amber in here. So I am really amped up about this. All right, let me interrupt real quick because you're gonna wanna hear this, but in celebration of hitting 6,000 followers on this channel, I spoke to Lightforce and they agreed to give away a pair of ROK40 amber lights to one of you. That's right, one of you can win a pair of these. They're brand new ROK40 amber lights. You're gonna need to watch all 3 videos in this Lightforce series to see exactly how you can win a pair, but stay tuned for these upcoming videos. You're not gonna wanna miss out on this giveaway, and we're gonna do it right here on YouTube. Last time I did a giveaway, a lot of people complained that I was doing a giveaway on Instagram when they may not have an Instagram account, and I'd rather this time around reward all the YouTube subscribers. And so it's all gonna be done here on YouTube. I mean, look at this. Don't you want a pair? I am so honored because I get to be one of the first people to have Lightforce amber lights on the vehicle, and they just look so nice. These are gonna be my ditch lights, and then one of these I'm going to put in the rear as my rear lights, and then since I have 2, I'll probably put this one in the Forerunner for that rear light. Now I will say I don't know the full specs on these ambers yet, except for the fact that they're floods. They're so new. They're not even on the website yet, and I don't even have packaging for it, so I can't tell you exactly what these lights entail. So I'll tell you about the white lights. They are each 40-watt LEDs or 3200 lumens raw for high performance, 50,000 plus hours LED lifespan for long-lasting quality. It's 5000 K color temp for improved clarity. Like I mentioned before, it's not going to be your ultra white. It has some sort of warmness to it, so it's not hurting your eyes when you're using it for long periods. IP69K rated to protect against moisture and ingress. Hard-wearing, high-pressure cast aluminum body, scratch and high impact resistant polycarbonate lens. Yo, this thing is tough, both this and the body itself. 2.4 amps at 13.2 voltage or 40 watts, 4 times 10 watt LEDs. They're lightweight, they're 25 ounces. Operating temperature is negative 40 degrees Celsius to 63 degrees Celsius or negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 145 degrees Fahrenheit. If you are somewhere that's more than negative 40 degrees Fahrenheit, less than 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or more than 145 degree Fahrenheit, I think you'd probably be dead. Deutsch style waterproof connector, which is great because that's the system that I have in my rig now. So enough of talking, I'm ready to install this stuff and show you how they're looking like. First thing I had to do was unplug the existing pod lights from the wiring harness. I thought I could just plug the new pods into the existing harness, but as it turns out, the Deutsch connectors don't match. It's not a big deal, I just had to disconnect the existing harness from my switch pod and remove it from the engine bay. What I really like about the Lightforce harnesses are that they already split to go into two auxiliary lights without me having to splice wires together. And because I'll be plugging this into my switch pod, I only needed the part of the harness that plugs into the lights itself. I can cut out the part of the harness that has the relay and switch and discard it. Then I just expose the wires that I will plug into the switch pod and make it nice and neat. From here, I just crimp on some loop connectors and then plug the wires into the switch pod. Quick test to see if it works before I clean up all the wiring. Fortunately, replacing the rear lights was much easier as the Deutsch connectors there were the same, so I just needed to remove the old pod, mount a new Lightforce pod, and plug it in. All right, let me try to make this quick because we have 3 videos in this Lightforce conversion series, and I don't want to spend a lot of time at the end of each video talking too much. This is not going to be a compare and contrast video in a sense of which light is better, Baja Designs or Lightforce. We are talking about comparing 2 companies that are at the top of their game. They are 2 of some of the leading lighting companies in the off-road community. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I love Baja Designs too. There's a reason why they're so popular, and there's a reason why I had bought Baja Designs to begin with. And just because I'm converting all my lights to Lightforce now, I'm not going to be getting rid of these Baja lights. They're just going to make their way onto the Forerunner. But I do know you're probably dying to see how they compare when it comes to light output, the spread, the color temperature, so let me show you that. These new amber ROK40s look amazing. I turned them on and I really didn't know what to expect. They had this yellow but slightly orange tinge to it that made it more pleasing to the eye personally for me. It looked just a little bit calmer versus this intense, super bright yellow light. And I actually really liked that because it allowed me to see everything without me kind of being just blinded by this yellowness. I also really like the orange hue of their lens. I think it just fits the look of my Jeep a little bit better and matches up to all the other lights that I have. And if this is the kind of orange you've been looking for, then these are perfect. Just for comparison, Here are the Baja design lights, and Baja is known for their signature kind of yellowish orange lens color, and I have always loved this color. But the thing that I found was that as good as they looked, it just didn't seem to match the rest of my Jeep. I have this really orange light bar from Diode Dynamics that I use as fog lights. Then I have my OEM amber lights, and then I have everything else being white. And so whenever I put the Baja design lights on, it looked kind of weird. It looked like I had like 3 kinds of different colored lights all throughout the rig. It looked kind of like a Christmas tree. Well, now with these oranges, they match that Diode Dynamics light bar and my OEM turn signals, and now everything just looks really consistent and nice. Now, as far as install, could not be easier. It's just really plug and play. I really like how they give you the wiring harness already kind of splitting into 2 lights, because that's what we always do. And I have a hard time finding that with other companies. There are companies that do offer it if you buy it extra, but a lot of companies normally just give you the light and you have the wire and you have to splice them together and join them together. And I like the fact that this, I didn't have to do that. I just literally had to plug it into my switch pod, plug the other end to the lights, and I was good to go. But anyway, that's it. I will save my bigger review and my overall thought on all this stuff after I install all these Lightforce lights on the Jeep. But make sure you watch those other videos that I'll be producing, because in the last video, I will tell you how to win your own ROK40 amber lights. I cannot wait till one of you get them, because they do look really, really good. Meanwhile, if you did like this video, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and also consider supporting us on Patreon so we can continue to make more content like this. And as always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at BaptismOverland. My name is Asia Sampson, and I will see you next time.